Hello everyone, in this video we're going to make sense of some of the rules we came up with for rotations and reflections. So let's take a look first at the 90-degree rotation. So here, this is an image from your homework. I just chose one of them. And you may remember we came up with the rule that if I have a point when it's rotated 90 degrees, that point, the x value, becomes the new y value, and the y value becomes the new x value, except its sign is flipped. Now the question is, why is that? To help us understand that, I'm going to add some things to this image. So notice this blue L here represents where the original positive x-axis is and where the original positive y-axis is. Now, watch where these lines go when I rotate the image 90 degrees. So notice here, after rotating it 90 degrees, the positive x-axis is now on the positive y-axis, and the positive y-axis is at the negative x-axis. This is why this point 2, 1 becomes negative 1, 2, because its x value is now lying on the positive y-axis, and the old y-axis is now lying on the negative x-axis, which is why this becomes negative y comma x. We can see this as we do our other rotations. If I go up to 180 degrees, I see that my positive x-axis is now in line with the negative x-axis. My old positive y-axis is now in line with the negative y-axis. And this is where we get the rule of negative x, negative y. Now, if I go ahead and flip around to 270 degrees, if I look at my corresponding points, you'll notice my y value is now in line with the positive x-axis. My old positive x-axis is in line with the negative y-axis, giving us the result of y comma negative x. Now, notice that these are all rules for a counterclockwise rotation. So that matters when we think of things in a clockwise manner. That might be something I throw in the homework. I say, what's a 90-degree clockwise rotation? Well, the 90-degree clockwise rotation is the same thing as a 270 counterclockwise. So just keep that in mind. If you know what the rule is for each of our different rotations, counterclockwise, you may just have to flip things around for clockwise. Now, let's take a look now at reflections. Let's first do an x-axis reflection. You may remember that when we do an x-axis reflection, the rule is we take the y value and flip it. So now if we look at the points, I can see that the y value changes sign. Why is that? Well, our positive y-axis gets realigned with the negative y-axis. Now I bet you can guess what's going to happen when we do a y-axis reflection. It's the same thing, except we flip the x value. Now it may seem counterintuitive that when we flip over the y-axis, we change the x value, but remember, this is where we're not changing the y value. If I'm flipping around the y-axis, the y value stays the same. The x value is what flips because my positive x-axis is now lined up with the negative x-axis. One fun bit of trivia is if I do an x-axis reflection and a y-axis reflection, this looks familiar. Hey, this is the same as a 180-degree rotation. It looks exactly the same. That's not an accident. In fact, that is a way that we sometimes define rotations, is as a series of reflections. So just a fun bit of trivia for you. I hope this was helpful.